Oh my god. Bringing back the limbs. Did it get sucked into a black hole? There's no way. There's no way. Today, I want to see if I could remake POPMART blind boxes with paper. Today, you could probably find a POPMART store near you, or at least hear somebody talking about POPMART blind boxes. What many people may not know is that this original store actually sold a variety of goods, ranging from stationery to cosmetics to household items. It was almost like an all-in-one retail store. What eventually brought tremendous success and massive global appeal was their blind boxes. Because my printer's not working, I have to go the traditional way of paper and pencil. But first, we gotta choose what blind bag we're going to make first. Let's hop on to the POPMART website. Alright, so here we are on the POPMART website. It looks like there's a new Labubu on the front page. Did Labubus like fall out of trend or something? Because it's been a while since I've last heard about any Labubu craze around me. I don't know, let me know in the comments. Oh, so despite me making so many blind boxes and blind bags, I've never actually bought a POPMART blind box for myself, so this will be a very new experience for me. I guess since I have no idea where to start, I'm going to see what's trending right now. So, oh, here's the trending. So the criteria for the blind boxes I'm looking for is that 1, it looks appealing, and 2, it's relatively easy to recreate without a printer. I'm talking about the item and the box. Okay, so we have some options here. What are these crybaby things? Is this part of a like a cartoon show or something? Is it like an original character that POPMART made? It might be easy to make out of paper though, since the designs are rather simple. I have seen... Oh my god, what are skull pandas? Why are they so expensive? Why are some of them like $60 for one? Is it just for one plush? Skull panda, okay. Maybe like the Sanrio license upped the price
by a lot because
it's Skull Panda cross Kuromi plush. So, okay, here's the Labubus. There's some Disney stuff. What in the world is that? There's no way. There's no way. I used to watch Teletubbies when I was younger, like 3-4 years old. It still traumatizes me to this day. Their eyes, they're staring at your soul. Oh, here's Snoopy. Where's Snoopy? I'm sure he'll be very happy. Oh my god, why is yours so dented? I'm sure he'll be very happy about this. Now look at all of the trending blind boxes. There are a couple of choices that I might want to choose. So first choice is probably any of the crybaby blind boxes because the cover looks sleek and simple. The character designs also look rather simple. By the way, simple does not mean it's bland or it's ugly or anything like that. It's just like a stylistic choice. Another choice is the Mickey family blind boxes. And the final choice is this, what is it? Hasi-poo-poo? Am I pronouncing that correctly? The box looks rather intimidating, not gonna lie, but I did see this one character that kind of reminds me of me when I was younger because I used to... I don't know if this is TMI, but when I was younger, like 5 years old, I used to take my dad's pants and like wear it up to my torso, like up here. That's a little fun fact for you guys. I think my heart is leaning towards the Mickey family blind boxes, so I think I'm gonna choose this one first. Let's go on to making this first blind box. Alright, so to get started, we're going to need a few things. Obviously, we're going to use some white paper. If you guys have been here for a while, you might be wondering, how do you have this much white paper? Well, to answer that question, I actually have not gone out and bought printer paper in years. My family has a huge stock of printer paper that we didn't use over a decade ago. So now I'm just starting to go through our supply. I hope that answers your question. And obviously, since I don't have the blind box in hand, not everything is going to be to scale. Well, I'm gonna try to at least get the proportions right. So first, with this white paper, we're going to make a box. I'm not going based off of exact numbers here, so I'm just going to take my ruler and pencil and just hope for the best. This is the template I came up with for the blind box. I don't want to tell you all the details of how I came up with this because I don't want to bore you. In short, the box is supposed to collapse. The bottom should close somewhat like this, and then same thing for the top. But now with
the annoying part done,
let's start doing the actual cool stuff, which is drawing the design. To start off, I'm taking my pencil and eraser to sketch out the design for my blind box. On this front rectangle, I'm drawing a huge Mickey plush on the front, as well as the title Mickey Family on the lower half of the rectangle. rectangle. The space next to it is where I'm drawing all of the Disney keychains that you can get in this blind box. Now before you say anything along the lines of,
Why do they have no faces, you
lazy
twat?
I'm simplifying the designs so that I don't, drive myself crazy getting all the details right, because that's exactly something I would do. Anyways, taking my eraser, I'm lightening up the graphite lead so that I can go in with a black pen and clearly trace over my sketches. This is always such a satisfying process because after all that trial and error with the sketching, I can finally just turn off my mind and blissfully just be guided by the lines. My hand was already starting to cramp a bit though, so here's my trace design. Next, I'm bringing in my brush tip markers to add some color. Not gonna lie, using brush tip markers to fill in such tiny areas was not an easy task, like at all. With these kinds of markers, you have to have some sort of hand dexterity. If you press too hard on the markers, you might create a paint blob. If you press on the ink right after it dries, something like this might happen. Aw, boo-hoo.
Cry about it.
It's okay, at least I have a white Sharpie to cover up my mistakes. For the smaller areas or the areas needing finer detail, I'm using my colored pencils to do the trick. Some of you guys ask me what colored pencils I use. I use Art Skills, by the way. But seriously, for arts and crafts, you don't need any fancy coloring supplies, and without them, you can still generate amazing results. To close the box up, I'm sealing the edges up with tape. And here is the blind box. I tried to tape the box in a way where the tape is not visible on the outside. But now it's time to work on the inside items. First things first, we're going to work on the plush keychain. Since the front of the box has a Mickey keychain, I'm going to make just that. So here I am sketching out a rough sketch of Mickey, trying to be as accurate to the real POPMART keychains as possible, and then after that, applying some color. Part of the reason why I chose this blind box in the first place was because I used to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse back in the mid-2000s. I also used to have this portable Mickey camera, and I used to carry it around with me everywhere. But one day, it just randomly disappeared, and to this day, I never knew where it went. Did it get sucked into a black hole? Like the blind box cover, I'm using colored pencils and a white pen to add the finer details. To the side, I'm drawing a long band as the keychain loop, writing Mickey Mouse on the far side. To prep for cutting, I'm folding part of the paper to the back so that when I'm cutting the designs out, I have 2 copies of the Mickey body.
You killed him.
Hold your horses, don't worry, I still have his limbs. I only did this so that it's easier for me to turn this into a paper squishy. Using my clear tape, I'm laminating the paper while simultaneously sealing the 2 sides of Mickey's body together to form a pocket. Leaving a small gap, I'm stuffing our squishy with some polyfilm, and after that, closing off the final edge with some more tape. I might be weird, but I kind of like the way it is now, but let's be real, Mickey isn't Mickey without his limbs. I'm bringing in the arms and legs and attaching them onto the paper squishy using some tape. There we go. And for the keychain loop, I'm connecting the 2 sides of the loop first, then taping it onto the squishy. Now thankfully, I have the spare ring clasp, which will be perfect to finish off this keychain. Now we're not exactly done yet, we still have to make the card that comes with the item. I pre-cut this piece of paper off camera and I'm just using it to draw whatever needs to be on the card. I'll admit, I did simplify the picture of Mickey on the left, but guys, I'm sure you can still tell it's him, right? Don't really understand what the purpose of this card is, but that's that. All that's left to do is to make an inside bag for this quote-unquote plush keychain, which in this case is just a white bag with a small red POPMART logo smack on the front. Real question though, will POPMART become the next Supreme? Once that's done, I'm inserting the inside bag and the card into the blind box. I had to crumple the inside bag for it to fit inside, but eventually I was able to seal off the edge and present to you guys my DIY Mickey Friends POPMART blind box. I really love how this turned out, and honestly, if someone ever made something like this for me, I would cherish it for the rest of my life. But now, we should probably choose what blind box we should make next. Alright, so I'm back after making that first blind box. Now, I don't want to stay on the trending page because I know this doesn't feature all of the products. I do want to check out what other blind boxes that POPMART has to offer, what they have in the collab section in particular. So let's see what they have going on in the anime section. Spy X Family. How did the Labubu get in here? Why is that thing $315? Out of all the animes that are featured so far, the only ones I can recognize are Naruto, Detective Conan, and Spy X Family. I'm gonna see what else they have to offer. Oh my god. You know what? I have seen these TED 2 blind boxes. They look derpy AF, but at the same time, I kind of want to make one. I think this will be my second blind box. For this blind box, I prepped the exact same template as the one I used for the previous blind box. I know, don't need to thank me. And with the pencil, I'm sketching the design. Now, when I first saw this blind box, box, I thought I recognized this bear from a movie, but it turns out that I missed the obvious fact that Ted 2 is its own movie, and I had mistaken this bear for the bear in the movie Corduroy. The bear from Corduroy looks very similar to this Ted 2 bear, just without the eyebrows. In the middle of sketching, I noticed that on the corner of the blind box displays an absolutely not so family friendly drink, so I replaced that with a water bottle and a water cup beside it. Moving on to the next face, I'm sketching all the bear keychains you could possibly get inside this blind box. Once again, I'm simplifying the design so that I don't have to spend half of my day drawing all the minuscule details that essentially is just a small part of a bigger picture. As long as you can tell that it's a keychain catalog, that's good enough for me. Next order of business, I'm taking my black pen to outline all of the messy pencil sketches to make the final cover look more sleek and clean. Also adding black rectangular patches under each bear, acting as little labels. Next, I'm taking an eraser and removing all of the pencil sketches, and after
Dusting my table to oblivion.
I'm coloring the cover with my colored pencils. I was debating on whether to use colored pencils or markers, as colored pencils provide me with more control, while markers allow for more even coverage. Ultimately, I decided against markers because of the lack of color variety. I really need to find a brand of markers that include different shades of brown because that would have been extremely useful for this project. If any of you guys know a brand that sells such a thing, please let me know in the comments. For now, I'm stuck here, painstakingly filling out my paper with a dull green colored pencil. But now that the coloring job is complete, let's grab some tape to turn this flat template into a 3D box. As for what plush keychain we're going to make, like last time, I'm just choosing the one on the front. Call me basic, call me unoriginal, shush, my rules. Plus, the raincoat bear actually does look adorable. So here I am sketching out my design, using the box as a size limit to make sure my plush keychain isn't larger than the blind box itself. And going in with my eraser again to lighten up the graphite. Pentel high polymer erasers never fail me. The next logical step is the color. Now this is a little bit of a side tangent, but I've recently gotten a lot of comments requesting different video ideas, different blind bag ideas. I hear you guys, and thank you so much for the feedback. One of my goals for this channel is to provide enjoyable content for people of all ages, and even if you are young, I hope that even when you grow older, you can still find my content entertaining, not even for the sake of nostalgia, but for the sake of it being actually entertaining. But now I'm prepping my color drawings for cutting, so I'm folding part of the paper behind the tattoo bear so that we can produce 2 copies of the bear shape. You did it again? With these identical pieces, I'm taping the 2 pieces back to back so that they form a pocket for me to in turn stuff it with some polyfilm. And then finally taping off the final edge, bringing back the limbs. I'm reattaching each part onto our paper squishy, which was mildly satisfying, and also attaching the keychain loop on top of its head. Now unfortunately, I don't have any more of those ring clasps, so we're just going to keep it as is. Next, we have the card to work on, which in this case is the thing that tells us what's inside of the blind box. I had to brush up on my Mandarin written skills as I needed that going for me in order to complete this card. Final segment of this blind box construction, the inside bag. For some reason, I chose to make the POPMART logo gray. Guess it's supposed to fit the color scheme better, but I digress. Still looks convincingly decent. All that's left to do is to insert the inside bag and the card into the blind box, as well as shut and close the top of the blind box. And here's our tattoo DIY blind box. If I were to critique this, I would have chosen to use my green Sharpie pen to fill in the outside of the box instead of using a colored pencil, but overall I'm satisfied with the outcome. So that's all the time I have for today. I spent a lot of time on these, so I'm really proud of how they turned out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Meepyblues out.